And after 2 years, the board and I felt it's time for me to move on, and I think I've accomplished just about everything I set out to do. The station was in debt, was losing money, now is not in debt, and we actually ended the year with a smidgen of cash on hand. So we're in much better shape. And as you can see by this pile of paper here, we're in the middle of our fund drive, and that seems to be going pretty well. So
right. So. Did you have a meeting with the board? How did this come up? Was it something you approached the board about, or how did it develop?
Well, that's kind of internal matters, and I'm really not at liberty to talk about that.
Okay.
The recent defeat of the ballot request for, was it $10,000? That had to be discouraging, both for you and the trustees.
Actually, well, for me personally, I don't count on things like that. In my calculations of things, I felt that if the town had voted for us, that would have been great, very nice. But I kind of figured that they might not. You can't rely on stuff like that and let that deter what you're trying to accomplish. But I really want to emphasize that the only thing that makes any of this possible is that the team that's been assembled here is just fantastic. I mean, between the paid people on staff, Lexi, Alan, and Ted, and our volunteers, guys like Jim Marshall, who have been here working behind the scenes doing a lot of administrative stuff and helping me out with ideas, and our show hosts, who are almost all volunteers. That's what makes this work. And all of that it's what made me fall in love with the place to begin with, and what helped to keep me going. And what makes me love the community, you know? And that's the bittersweet part of leaving.
All right.
But it was a lot of fun while it ran, you know?
So is that one of your best moments with the station, covering Irene?
The actual time that we were here, the three of us, myself, Lexi Cobell, our producer, and Jim Marshall, a volunteer, it was tough because, as you well know, sitting here listening to scanners, getting phone calls, it's all very fragmentary. And trying to filter out what's right, what's not, what to put on the air and so forth. That was tough. Afterwards, of course, it's like, I can't believe we did that. But, yeah, Irene was a watershed moment, if you forgive the expression. It helped to get the station back into people's consciousness. And I think that it was good for the community, it was good for the radio station. And going forward, I'm sure that the Shires Media Partnership is going to be able to find someone to help keep that going.
Do you have any idea what you plan to do next at this point?
Not really. Yeah, 2 years of 12-hour days. I think it's time to relax for a little bit.
Right. Is there a succession plan at this point? Do you know what the station will do in terms of...
I know the board has put together a search committee, and what their plans are from there I cannot say.
Okay.
I think I can look back with a lot of pride at what we've accomplished here.
Yeah.
And I think the community can look at that with a lot of pride too, because there are an awful lot of places bigger than Bennington that had community radio stations and couldn't keep them going. Either couldn't or wouldn't. And this town has stepped up to the plate to say, yes, WBTN is important to us. We want to keep it.